Hello, and thank you for joining this short video on how McGraw-Hill Network's learning systems address English learners. My name is Tim Reed, National Social Studies Curriculum Specialist. This is a listing of tools available with McGraw-Hill Network's learning systems that might be helpful. I would suggest that in evaluation you use the code provided by your representative to look at these items more thoroughly after you've watched this short video. So let's take a look at those student tools that support English learners. I want to point out that the essential question and the guiding questions have an inquiry focus. The audio helps EL students with its human voice. The highlighting allows students to learn how to mark up text. The reading coach, which is the reading level question mark, allows teachers to select the student profile and push that out to the students, and the students then change as needed. The goal is for a 1 to 2 grade lower reading level than the text itself. This is an example from the high school. In the middle school, there is on-level and approaching grade level, and the EL component is the Reading Essentials and Study Guide. The Reading Strategies is a graphic organizer, and the use of foldables helps EL students with organizing information. When a student is evaluating a resource, if they click on the resource, they see that in the narrative, a passage is highlighted. Students learn that resources relate to the reading. For many of the programs, there is a mirror Spanish-English translation. There are other Spanish support items that range from the text, the Reading Essentials and Study Guide, the English and Spanish glossary, and tests and quizzes. In addition to the lesson videos, the primary sources, the charts and graphs, the engaging visuals, the students will find at the end of every lesson a content-related game, as well as a self-check quiz to help students to retain what they learn through practice with immediate responses. Other resources that will help the EL student include the Reading Essentials and Study Guide. Both the high school and middle school titles have a Reading Essentials and Study Guide. Both include a narrative written at 2 to 3 grades lower reading level as a goal. Both include progress checks and a narrative that is interspersed with a variety of styles such as bullet points and charts, very friendly to EL students. Retains the essential question, guiding question, lesson vocabulary, both academic and content. Now, the middle school titles include a little extra support for the EL with lesson introductions to the maps, timelines, and other pertinent resources. Side margin critical questions drive the students into the narrative to find text evidence. And foldables are incorporated as a notes and review tool. And for the middle school level, there is the Spanish translation. So let's look at the teacher edition and planning resources for EL. I'd like to point out a couple of key pages. So this is a chapter planner, and I would like to point out Understanding by Design. And he's worked diligently to provide the backward mapping lesson plan in every unit, chapter, and lesson. When asked what teachers wanted in the side margin of the teacher edition, they said they want skills. They want to help students to understand what they're reading, and those skills need to be reading, writing, critical thinking, visual, and technology. Many of these skill-based activities were designed for differentiated instruction and are labeled as such, as you can see here, below level or beyond level, approaching level, English language learner, and learning styles. A few pages further in that teacher planning, you'll find intervention and remediation strategies. Not only does this page itemize those best EL resources, but it provides lesson text evidence to help students comprehend the reading. So this is the teacher edition homepage, and we're going to take a look at first the lesson plans, and you'll see some things that are similar. If we look at the chapter here, I see that here is my intervention and remediation, my gifted and talented. So I will have those same strategies right there in my digital environment. If I look at the chapter resources at a glance, I can see that here is my Understanding by Design. I can explore this resource, this lesson plan by looking at the chapter level resources where I'll find that reading essentials and study guide, the vocabulary builders, the background knowledge, what do you know in the American Revolution. And be aware that you can customize these lesson plans as well as when you are in the lesson, you can customize the lesson presentation as well to help you to differentiate that presentation. Now, if we look at the resource tab is another key area for the teachers where you can find those student resources that deal with or have support for vocabulary, background knowledge. The guided reading activities are here. The Reading Essentials has its own indicator on the toolbar there, and you can access all of the Reading Essentials as well as the foldables, instruction and template for the reading. Now the teacher can also go in and look at the resources that would best help that English learner, such as the graphic novels. At the top of the page, the 21st century skills that give them models, as I mentioned. And in the professional development and other areas of the resource library, you'll find things such as the ELL handbook and academic vocabulary professional learning. Now, if we look at the manage and assign, we can see that this is key for differentiation as well, because you can clearly choose the students that you want to receive particular assignments. This is where you would go into your classes and look at the entire class or the individual student profile to change that profile reading level. And you have the ability up here to share classes with your English language learner teacher. And there you have it, a quick video on support for English language learners within the student, teacher, and professional learning components of McGraw-Hill networks. It's both extensive and targeted to the success. It's both extensive and targeted to the success of English learners. I hope I've made clear. Well, there you have it, a quick overview of the support for English learners within the student, teacher, and professional learning components of McGraw-Hill networks. This is both extensive and targeted to the success of English learners. Thank you for reviewing this informational video on the support of English learners within McGraw-Hill networks. We appreciate your time.